Oh, hey. What is up, guys? Michael coming back at you with another video. So I'm not in the greatest mood. I just had to pick my car up from being towed, but alas, that was my own fault. Don't park in a fire lane was the lesson I learned. Today, what are we talking about? Should you get one of these bad boys? A little bit of a Mac for your college classes. So if you're looking to get a new computer for college, stick to the end of this video. So after using Windows OS basically my entire life, I made the brash decision to switch to a Mac OS and to try it out to see how it works with college life. So previously, I was using this bad boy right here. This is the Legion Lenovo, or the Lenovo Legion. I believe it's the Y530 maybe? One of those models. So I was using this bad boy right here. It has pretty much great specs. It can run almost any video game. I'll probably throw up the specs up on the screen. So it's a great gaming laptop, or a gaming hybrid laptop, because it has a great graphics card. If you plug it in, it can run I've never had any trouble rendering video, playing video games, anything like that. So it has great specs. I also upgraded the RAM, added an SSD, so it had really good specs. But my main quaff with my Legion Lenovo here was that the battery life was absolutely terrible. Like it died in like 2 to 3 hours maybe. I'd push it to 2 to 3 hours, and that's doing like very minimal. It's not like I'm playing video games. If you play a video game on this bad boy not plugged in, dude, that is gonna die in like 20 minutes. I think I was rendering a video on here on battery, died in 30 minutes. Like, if you're not plugged in, the battery life is completely awful, to be honest. Like, and that's okay if it's like constantly plugged in, if you're not taking this really anywhere, or if you're not using it portably that much, because it still is a laptop, so you can still take the charger with you places, but then you have to rely on trying to find an outlet, and especially when I'd go to Starbucks, for some reason not all the outlets would work, so then I'd have to keep moving places and asking people to move, like, hey, can I sit there, my laptop dying, like, you know, it's just this whole thing. So that was one of my main issues. And then there was another issue where I'm not sure if this is a hardware or a software issue. Every time I close the screen, you know, it would never sleep. It would always blue screen. Say I'm typing a Word document for one of my classes, I close the screen to go to another class, reopen it, it just blue screen. Like, I can't resume the work that I do. So every time I close the screen, I just had to make sure it shut off. That was a really main annoyance for me. And I bought this computer in 2018, so it's still fairly new for a laptop. So those were my two primary reasons that I was looking to switch to a new computer, not just Mac, just any sort of new computer. Put this bad boy back down. So I've had this Mac for a little bit over a week, and I'm still trying to get used to the Mac OS. But maybe just because I grew up on Windows OS, I feel like the Windows OS is slightly more intuitive when it comes to things, and that you have a little bit more control over what's going on in your applications. The more control can sort of be a blessing or a curse. So if you want to deep dive into stuff, I think Windows computers are really good, and the Windows OS is really strong in that. But I also feel like Mac OS is very user-friendly, so you can kind of just hop in immediately and get the hang of things, and you won't, it's hard to get lost in the capabilities almost. When you first open it up, there's only a couple folders, there's applications folders, it's like, oh, when you want to download, put it in the applications folder. But some of the swiping is a little bit odd, I think, like, if I use like 4 fingers to swipe, I can switch the screens. And then also like the touchpad is a little bit odd, I think. Sometimes you can like push different pressures, and I feel like that's just a little bit hard to get used to. So, but that's just me. Probably because I grew up on Windows OS. So the main things I noticed when first buying a Mac, the reason I got it was because my college, UCSD, had a $200 off back to school sale off MacBook Pros. So this is the 2019 MacBook Pro. It has the, I'll show it to you briefly. I just got Hearthstone up there. Has the little touch bar at the bottom as well. And this has the new keyboard that doesn't jam as well. But basically the first things I noticed was the insanely fast boot time. So I can close it, open it, bam, immediately back. I think there's other Windows computers that do this. My Lenovo was just absolutely brutal. Every time I close the screen, rip, because I would have to wait like 5-10 minutes for that thing to boot up again. Before that Lenovo laptop, I also had an MSI computer where if I closed the screen and reopened it, it wasn't this fast of a boot. It was still relatively fast. Also, the battery life on this bad boy is insane, my dudes. Absolutely insane. I literally have to charge this maybe like every 2 days, and that's when I'm like drain the battery to 0. I never carry my charger to campus anymore, whereas with my Lenovo, I basically had to carry a huge power brick with me everywhere. It was so heavy. Actually, like, you know, mess with my back a little bit. You know how it be. Just a little bit. The battery life, superb, gentlemen. Absolutely superb. And you could probably get very good battery lives on other Windows computers if you are really, really opposed to getting a Mac. But I really wanted to try Mac OS. I never tried it. Just being sort of like in a college life, it's very, very simple to just close your computer, open it up in a new class, continue typing on your Google Doc, or super, super light too. Like this bad boy is like, I think it's like only over like 3 pounds, so it's like super, super small. The main difference you're gonna notice is that, are you gonna be playing video games on it? Because Macs are really not designed to play video games. They're more, you know, the notebooks. They're meant to be, you know, carried around. They're light. Look at that. Look how thin this is. Lenovo computer has a dedicated graphics card that's good, so it can handle a lot of graphically intensive games or other programs that require that. So if you know you're going to be playing video games a lot, and I know Macs can run like Hearthstone or League of Legends fairly well, things that aren't graphically demanding, you're going to be playing like the cutting edge video games, you might not want to consider a MacBook. But if you're looking for a school laptop to do coding, to take notes on, the MacBook is very good for that. You can open the laptop, easy breezy. It's super light. Battery life lasts a while. If you're watching Netflix, beautiful, beautiful screen. So I highly recommend that if you can find a good price on it. Again, check out your bookstore prices. They usually have education discounts. And if you really, really don't like Mac OS, I would suggest maybe checking out some Windows alternatives that, you know, can compete with the thinness, the portability of a MacBook. I've heard the Surface tablets, the Surface laptops are very, very good, but I absolutely despise touchscreen laptops. I hate them so much. That's why I didn't get one. I feel like nowadays a lot of Windows computers, like the thinner ones, are all touchscreen, and I just despise touchscreen laptops. So that's why I just couldn't get one. So I also really wanted to try the Mac OS. You can develop iOS apps without needing a VM, which is cool. So just to wrap up, it's sleek, it's portable, good battery life. If you're willing to sacrifice on some like specs, I'd suggest getting a MacBook for college. I've thoroughly enjoyed the purchase, despite having a relatively new laptop. As I mentioned before, the problems with my other laptop were just really, really annoying, and I wanted to try a new one, so I did. I've been happy with it for the week that I've had it. But if you want a little bit more control, if you just like Windows OS, maybe look at some Windows alternatives, such as the Surface Book. Again, my name is Michael. This has been Should You Get a Mac for College? I hope you guys liked the video a lot. If you did, consider hitting that like button and that subscribe button down below, giving you bad British accents when you need it, and some useful information sometimes when you need it. Again, my name is Michael. Consider tuning into a future video of mine. It's been an absolute pleasure. Bye-bye.